And now it's on. So, Gina, why don't you introduce Eileen and Gary, and then we can ask them some questions about who they are.
Yes. Okay. Ciao a tutti. My name is Gina Andracchio, here with Matteo Platania. We are sitting with our guests and co-panelists, Eileen and Gary Modica, who are Zooming with us, who are chatting with us from Firenze. Right. So thank you again for joining us. We wanted to chat with you guys to learn more about your story. I mean, our community includes people who, from a whole range of people who would like to retire in Italy, buy a house in Italy, or just visit Italy for the first time, that whole range in between. So we wanted to be able to get some of your insight and learn from your experiences. We understand that you have gone through the long process of acquiring dual citizenship, Italian citizenship, and are helping others to do the same. In the process, I understand that you have lived for over a year in Italy. I know that you guys travel back and forth between the States and Italy, I believe. So you're there now, obviously. And we just wanted to pick your brain, learn more about your blog, ouritalianjourney.com, which has been fantastic. You've been sharing your posts on our Mio platform. We thank you for that. Mm-hmm. And so we just wanted to get some insights, starting off with perhaps why you wanted to start your blog. What is the purpose behind it? What is your motivation?
Well, I wanted to, we came to Italy for the first time in 2010, and we fell in love right away, as most people do. And it was a way to share our experience. And of course, we only had our US passports at that time, so you could only stay 90 days. So our first experience in 2010 was 2 weeks.
2 weeks,
Two weeks.
The typical crazy, 2 week all over Italy.
Right.
2012, we came back for 3 weeks. And we came, again, still the love. I wanted to share, places you could visit, restaurant recommendations, things like that. So that was the reason behind it. Mm-hmm. And then once we started getting into our dual citizenship, that was a whole nother reason, because it is not so easy. So there are people that we have met here, people that we meet in the States that are frustrated by the process. So right. We wanted them to know that, the things that had we known maybe would have made our process a little better for us. So I wanted to share that with them.
It's fantastic. It's fantastic.
The Italian government,
be nice.
How do I say this? Let's put it this way. While you're waiting for your dual citizenship, you are going to learn how things move in Italy very slowly. And nobody's in a rush to do anything, and just live with it. That's all you can do.
Patience.
Okay. Okay. And how long did it take you altogether to go through the process?
When we submitted all of our forms to the consulate in LA, it took 9 days short of 3 years. And let me tell you something.
That's not bad.
No. It's right. 9 years before you get your first appointment now.
They are so backlogged. People are waiting 9 years for their first appointment.
Right.
But we started collecting information probably in 2013. If I went through my emails correctly, I started looking for birth certificates, marriage certificates, everything I possibly could, because we read something on the internet that said this is what you need to qualify, to prove your bloodline. So,
so
we're in Arizona, and all of our records are in New York.
Yeah.
Right.
And that was the requirement, though? It was a bloodline? It wasn't you wanted to buy property, or there are some other reasons, I guess, you might be able to be paying.
For us, it was through blood, okay? I found that the easier way, believe it or not. I found that was the less painful way, if you want to say that, because I basically, once I got my citizenship, she automatically got hers. and
Because
which
we
is
were
different
married
now.
before 1983. There's a 1983 rule on the Italian books. So if we were married after 1983, I would have to apply completely separately.
She would have had to have waited a year after I got mine for her to get for her to apply even.
Right, right. So let me just clarify for the members who might be questioning. I did work for the Italian consulate in Baltimore for quite some time when we had it here. So I did deal with a lot of applicants going through the same process. I unfortunately cannot get it currently, my Italian citizenship, because my parents renounced their Italian citizenship at the time they acquired their U.S. citizenship, because that's the law. That was the law in 1975, I believe it was. They could not get dual. So unless they get theirs, I cannot get mine unless I go through marriage. So through the bloodline, as you were mentioning, Gary, I believe is Judy Sanguis is the
Yes.
term, right?
Yes.
And you cannot skip through the bloodline. You cannot go through a grandparent, for instance. You have to go through a parent who had Italian citizenship at the time you were born.
No, as a matter of fact, I went directly to my grandfather.
You did?
Yes, because I thought my father would kind of eliminate me because he was born in America. But my grandfather, let's put it this way. I always loved my grandfather, but I loved him even more going through this process.
Oh,
He never became a U.S. citizen.
Mhm.
He
Right.
stayed a legal resident alien, and he had to register every 5 years as such, and he did. Him and my grandmother both.
Okay.
So that made the line direct. So technically, in the eyes of
That
the
made the
Italian-
line a heck of a lot easier.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Okay.
And
Yeah.
so what?
My longest wait our longest wait was waiting for Homeland Security to get back to me with that piece of paper saying, yep, nope, he's not registered anywhere. So therefore, he stayed a legal resident alien.
Right.
And that took almost a year to get.
Wow.
And what was the motivation initially to get it? Just to get it, or you knew that you wanted to stay longer than 90 days in Italy? And if you didn't get it, is it possible to stay longer than 90 days if you're not working?
Yeah, it is possible. There's a process called permesso soggiorno, but it's a terrifying kind of process for me when I see people blog about it.
Yes.
That they have to stand in line in the police station, at the postal office, and if they don't get to you, okay, see you tomorrow, ciao, it's unnerving, and I don't know that I wanted to go that route.
Plus that route, you have to present your financials to the Italian government. You have to have a round trip plane ticket showing that you're going back.
Mm-hmm.
You have to have a signed rental agreement with a landlord saying that you're going to be there for a year. And guess what? They are going to come and knock on your door a couple of times to make sure you're there.
Yeah.
Wow. So
It's just a different process. And, if you have citizenship, I just feel like this is a second home with it than without it.
Right.
And so as Italian citizens, then you've lived there now 12 solid months, right?
We've been here for 2 90-day stays, and we came November 24th, 2018 to start our first full year.
Okay.
So we're 6 months into it.
All right.
Right.
Congratulations. How do you feel? Are you Italian? I mean, do you speak Italian? How do they treat you? I mean, right? Are you like, who are these Americans? Are you in downtown Florence or outside?
We're right by Santo Spirito, Piazza Santo Spirito, which is Oltrano side of the bridge.
Yeah.
But considered downtown, yeah.
Okay.
It's Central Storico.
Okay.
And so how have you met Italian? Do you have friends?
Yes.
Yeah.
There's a hotel that we had stayed at during one of our 90-day journeys that we have become close friends with this family. They always want us to stay there, and we're like, no, you have no kitchen, and you use mine, you know. So it just is amazing that we would go then to a certain restaurant that we like, the cook and the hostess, manager. And that was back in 2012, and we've still 17, I'm sorry, and we've still remained great friends. We just saw her yesterday. She's now moved to Prato, and so we went there for the day and spent with Francesca and met her mother. And so we have made some friends along the way, a lot of American friends that we meet at the opera and some other places, but yeah, just beautiful. Yeah, so if you find the Pitti Palace, which we are,
is this your home right now?
I wish it was.
Is that your home right now?
I could have a ball in that place.
Oh yeah.
Oh my goodness.
We've been in the Pitti Palace, and I believe that is it.
Yes, that's it.
It is. It's the power of Google Maps. It helps us be close to you.
That's
Yes.
right.
Yeah, our palace is all of about 65 square meters.
Okay. Hey.
If that much.
It's still in Florence, though, right? So
Yes, it's amazing to be. I mean, the sites we walk past every day, the Duomo, the bridge. It's just.
Even if it's raining, it's been a very
beautiful.
rainy, cold winter, spring. We have friends here from Arizona that they've been here 2.5 months, and it's rained almost the whole time that they've been here.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Really sad.
No, I'm not complaining that much because I understand it's very good for the wine.
Oh, well, there you go.
Sure. So you guys mentioned that you've met a lot of Americans as well there. For people who see the language barrier as something to be, intimidated by, how do you see being able to function in daily life with the Italians? Are there a lot of people who speak? Are they accommodating with English? I know that you guys speak some Italian as well, but what can you tell us about that, Poco?
Well, Gary kind of grew up with it in his family, his Italian side. So he has some Sicilian dialect knowledge where I have not. For me, I have very little patience. I want to learn it all now. When we're sitting on the train and there's, a couple across from us speaking, I'm like trying to figure out what they're saying, and I catch a word or two, but the barrier is mainly mine more so than his. I'm trying to learn. I try and work at it every day. You would think with a year here that we promised each other, I could do a little bit each day, but it doesn't always work out that way. But most Italians, if you try and speak a little bit of Italian, so my favorite saying is "Sto imparando italiano," and that means I am learning Italian. And they're like, oh. Well, my English is, Inglese is, and I'm like, so. And once you give them permission to stumble, if you're in a larger town like Florence, Rome, they do know a little bit of English. It is one of the languages taught here in Italy. You learn Italian, you learn English, and another language.
I think it's especially the last 25 or so years, Italian students would learn 3 languages.
Right.
At smaller towns, you will not find that as much, nor in Sicily will you find English spoken as much. But we're looking for a town. This is our year that we promised each other once we got our Italian citizenship. We would leave our grandchildren, all 9 of them, and our 4 children behind.
Yeah, the kids I can leave.
This is being recorded, Gary. All right.
I told them to their face, so that's okay.
We promised this to explore. We've already been since 2010 to 57 cities and towns in Italy.
Wow.
We have a couple that are top contenders, and I think after this being here in this winter, our plan is definitely to be Italian snowbirds. We're going to fly home to Arizona for the winter where it's dry and warmer, and then come back here. We're just trying to find out where here will be. We would like to buy something here, but we have some contenders of towns, but we have some that are definitely off the list. So.
Well, what are the top three?
Top three right now, I would say, would be Conversano down in Puglia.
See?
I fell in love with that place. It was just and very little English spoken, but you get along.
Yeah.
You really do. I'm going to digress here for a second.
No,
Your question about intimidating the language barrier. No, don't be intimidated.
No.
Come, try your best. You're going to, in Sicily, and you talk about the Italian language, the Sicilian language is totally different. I have a problem with the Italian language. I pick up more Sicilian than I do Italian.
Bravo.
I saw her having conversations with people, and neither one of them knew what the hell the other one was.
A lot of hand motions.
But you got the idea. And it works. So don't be intimidated. Come and try it. It's fun.
Okay, so number two.
Good. Thank you.
I think might be Arezzo, and that's in Tuscany. We were just there briefly, but it was what we're looking for. There are some, prerequisites. They have to have good wine, and they have to have good bread. Not every place, Emilia Romagna doesn't have the bread I like. There's no salt, so it's very white and tasteless.
But the rest of the food there is great.
That's great.
Right.
So Conversano, yes, we were there recently for 2 months. Arezzo could be. We've liked Lucca, another small hill town. We love Siena, but so does everybody else, and there's a lot of tourists there. So I don't know.
But it's less touristy than it's and crowded than Florence.
Sure.
It would be easier to get around. Our prerequisite is going to be a train.
Yeah.
It has to be transportation. She keeps on telling me, "Oh, study the manual. You'll be able to get your license." I don't believe that there is a license in Italy. The way the people drive, they can't have gone to and taken a test. No way.
Oh goodness, that's debatable.
Yeah.
It's truly funny. Parking, one-way street sign, they mean nothing.
No.
Right. They're skilled.
What about the blog? So if you go back and forth, will you continue the blog, and are you looking to grow the blog? So is it just a communication mechanism for your experiences, or kind of what are you envisioning behind the blog? It's done extremely well. I mean, it's beautiful.
Thank you.
That's all her. That's not me. Trust me.
I give him assignments every once in a while.
Taste the wine, taste the food. Yeah. I got the hard job.
You got the hard job.
I would like to continue it because I get a lot of feedback from people saying that, like our recent post on Alberobello. One lady said, "You've inspired me. I've now put it on my itinerary to go."
Oh, wonderful.
I just want to give people a taste of the different towns. Alberobello is unique. It is one of a kind in Italy. We have always seen pictures of it on Instagram and Facebook, and never imagined it would be like that. Never.
That whole area, the Itra Valley, I believe it is the only place in the world you're going to find these things, these houses, and it's beautiful, is what it is.
So I would like to continue with it. Obviously, we still have 6 months. I have people asking us for our decision. Do you know what town yet?
Right.
They're waiting for that announcement, and
our kids are waiting for that announcement.
Yeah,
right.
But I love trying to help people. We met a lady in Rome in the opera, and her family. They live in Miami. she actually was in Italy with her son and came to visit us in Conversano. And they're going through the same process. And it's that process when you don't hear anything, that negative time when there's no correspondence from the consulate that gives you any idea of, you know,
Where you stand in the
are.
process.
Right.
It's just helping to motivate people like that, or perhaps, like I said, we did not know a certain procedure that for getting an appointment that I learned through a Facebook group that we belong to. And it's just helping other people. I think we'll always be traveling through Italy, even when we live here. So, you know, the blog is just my way of keeping in touch with people, keeping Italy out there.
I love it. It's gorgeous, and we certainly appreciate, you know, you adding to Neo. And we're just getting started after having done this for a while, but we're just getting started again. And this whole idea of like direct to Italy, especially people that like you that are living there and have gone through these experiences. I mean, fundamentally, we just believe that it's not as far as it seems to be, and people shouldn't wait. And if they can, they should go. But if they can't, you know, even through blogs and, you know, through what we're trying to do, just at least begin the appreciation of the true Italy. So this is great. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
No problem.
Thank you.
I think it, yeah, absolutely. It to echo what Matteo's saying, it sort of brings this full circle. You guys have been helping your own network for years now, you know, providing the recommendations and whatever valuable insight that you've acquired. But being able to then expand that through our network, I think is immeasurably valuable. So thank you very much. We appreciate your time. And
No problem.
We travel with you. Yeah, you have to keep vlogging. You have to video. You guys are awesome on camera. We finally got this to work. Thank you for your patience. But you definitely have to go video. No doubt about it. Like, you guys should be. Your tips are fantastic. These first person experiences, and it's much more so when, you know, you've gone through the process. You've lived there long enough. You've seen all of these towns. I mean, you're developing these criteria. I mean, even the towns that you mentioned, like you said, they're not on anybody's beaten path, right? I mean, Lucca maybe, Siena of course, but like these other towns, like people just they won't trust themselves to go. And, you know, they'll have high recommendations on TripAdvisor, but it's so impersonal, you know?
I agree.
Yeah.
And you don't know what people's criteria are. Maybe they had a good pizza there and that was it, you know? But, you know, so.
And in fact, we won't put a recommendation for a restaurant if we just ate there once, unless it was outstanding. And in fact, that actually just happened in Arezzo, so I will be putting that one on there. But it's, you know, you go to these towns and you're like, you know, one restaurant looks like the next. You know, where would you go? So, so we hope our little recommendations and that help people, and just give it a start as to what you can do. But don't do it. People make the mistake of coming here and trying to do it all at once. You're never going to see everything, even if you just stay in Rome. You won't see everything in Rome in 2 weeks. You know, you just have to understand. You leave something to come back to.
I love it.
Good.
All right, well, we'll leave it with that, and we'll come back to you often because we want to hear about more of your stories. And and thank you so much for today, Gina.
Thank you very much, guys.
Thank you, Gina. Thank
Arrivederci, un saluto alla bella Italia.
Ciao.
Buonasera.
Buonasera a voi, ciao.
Ciao.